The third test on the NHS health check is cholesterol. Is it a little bit more complex than good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, and don't eat too much cheese? Yes, it is. Let's take a look in a very humble, non-doctor, non-dietitian way. Let's just start with something not really that controversial. There's no such thing as good and bad cholesterol. Cholesterol in itself is entirely good. In fact, I'd happily wear a t-shirt that says cholesterol is life emblazoned on it. Every cell in your body is made up of fats, protein, and cholesterol. Cholesterol makes cells, repairs cells, rejuvenates, builds tissue. Your body produces cholesterol to build cells, repair, so that it can build hormones like testosterone and cortisol. Without cholesterol, you wouldn't be able to digest your food, or you wouldn't be able to synthesize sunlight and synthesize and make vitamin D. Consider the times where your body would naturally make more cholesterol: when you're recovering from illness or injury, you're pregnant, when you're training and you're looking to repair muscle tissue. Cholesterol is life, which it is. Then how come we've got terms such as good and bad cholesterol? Okay, stay with me on this one. Your liver makes cholesterol and it has a job to do. It has to find a way of transporting that cholesterol and fats through the bloodstream and into the cells to do its magic. But there is something it's got to overcome, and that is this. Let me show you. Pretend this is blood, and don't tell my wife, but we'll use this. We'll blend its cholesterol and or fat. It's a lipid. As you can see, lipids aren't soluble. Oh no, but it's fine, because your liver has an amazing way of finding a transporter to wrap cholesterol and fats up and transport them through the blood. Yes, I'm using balloons. A lipoprotein is how we solve the transportation problem. It is a bundle of proteins, fats, and cholesterol. I'm using balloons because it's a good analogy. As the lipoproteins come out of your liver and they deliver their fat content, thus they get smaller and denser. And they keep on getting smaller until they end up as the smallest, most cholesterol-filled version, which is your LDL. So here they are, very low density, intermediate low density, or IDL, and the one that's on the blood test, which is your LDL, your low density lipoprotein. And as you can see, I'll use the balloon again. So we've got very low, depositing fat into your cells because it's an energy source. And then at its most cholesterol filled and densest version, you've got the LDL. So here's an illustration of that. And you can see the blue, the fat content of these lipoproteins coming down, and thus going from the VLDL into the IDL and into the low density lipoprotein right at the end. So let me introduce you to this bad boy. This is a high density lipoprotein. Different protein, still a lipoprotein, different colour, much denser. Now this is produced by the liver too, and this has a different job. This is main job really is to go into the cells and pick up excess cholesterol and help take it back to the liver. So effectively, if that's your cell, where there's excess, it will take a little bit of excess, come back, drop that excess off, and the whole cycle keeps on moving. So in a healthy person, they're going to produce LDL cholesterol, it's going to get used, and together with HDL cholesterol, it's going to be a constant motorway of dropping off, picking up, and recycling. Total cholesterol to HDL ratio is a good way to measure how well the system's working. It compares the amount of all the cholesterol in your blood, total cholesterol, to the HDL level in your blood. A lower ratio is better because it shows that you have more HDL compared to total cholesterol. If HDL goes up, it means there's more HDL cholesterol helping to clear away low density lipoproteins, and since the ratio divides total cholesterol by high density lipoproteins, increasing high density lipoproteins makes the bottom number of the division bigger, which makes the overall ratio smaller, which is a good thing, but I needed to use Connect 4 to work that out. So here's a little table. Yes, all of these things will increase your HDL, but equally, all of these factors help improve your health. I guess summed up by exercise and eat well.
Right, so coming full circle then, let's look at good and bad, where those terms come from. The good is the easy part, isn't it? That refers to the HDL lipoproteins. And as we've looked at, those are the ones that are helping pick up excess cholesterol and cholesterol in general and taking it back to the liver. So the clear up merchants. So the bad, where's the bad come from? Well, we know about something called atherosclerosis. That is that build up, that fatty build up of plaque in the arteries, which go on to cause things like heart attacks and strokes. And within that fatty build up, along with all the other things that contribute to it, cholesterol is found in that fat. In particular, the low density lipoprotein is found in those fatty buildups. So that's where the bad comes from. Effectively, the link, the undisputable link between high cholesterol levels, particularly that LDL lipoprotein, high cholesterol levels in that form, contributing to fatty buildup, fatty pipes. But there are two schools of thought about LDL being the cause of fatty buildup, and we can break those schools of thoughts down into the saturated fat school of thought and the oxidized cholesterol school of thought. Let's have a go. Look, the saturated fat one is pretty simple, isn't it? That is, you are eating too much cholesterol because cholesterol is in saturated fat. So you're eating too much saturated fat. I think I've said that enough times, and you're just overloading your system with cholesterol, and as a result, you've just got too high LDL levels. Your liver, your system can't clear it, and that effectively falls to the wayside onto your pipes like debris on a motorway, and that is what's causing your fatty pipe issue. Okay, the oxidated cholesterol school of thought is different. That would suggest that there's nothing inherently wrong with having LDL lipoproteins floating around because cholesterol is so bloody good. But what it would say is that because of the toxins and the inflammation in your body, effectively that LDL lipoprotein becomes damaged, oxidized, but let's just use the word damaged. And in that damaged form, it can't be taken up by your cells and it can't be resynthesized by the liver. So then it just sort of withers and dies, yep, causing the build-up, but it's because it encounters all of this inflammation and toxicity, becomes oxidized, stroke damaged, and then much the same, just falls to the wayside because it can't go anywhere else. Really, you've got sort of two schools of thought that focus on slightly different aspects of the same problem. If you're going down more the saturated fat school of thought, you're just simply stating there's just too much LDL cholesterol in your system. If you go down the oxidized route, you're saying, well, it's more to do with the quality of that LDL, those lipoproteins, and what those lipoproteins encounter in your bloodstream to make them oxidized and therefore redundant. But in all honesty, chaps, it doesn't really matter, because all of the advice is the same, isn't it? If you eat a decent diet with plenty of fruit and vegetables and healthy fats, if you keep beer down low, if you don't smoke, if you exercise regularly, you're going to put your best foot forward into controlling and having a healthy cholesterol level.